do not adjust your screens. It's not Thursday. It's not some trickery. It's Tuesday night, 8 p.m. You got myself, Geeky Eye Comics. You got the Oracle himself, Andy from Perpetual Comics. What is this madness? Whose idea was this?
This kind of it was my idea to go at 8 o'clock and to have an extra show, give a double dose of the Killer Comics. And it's going to be really weird tomorrow because I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go, oh, thank goodness it's Friday, and then realise that it's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday and we've got another. But we're not on just once this week, are we? We've got another show on Thursday.
Yeah. Double dose. So we're giving you twice as much fun. And if this show's anything to go by, then Thursday should be extra special. So
it will be. We're going to that a bit later. But how have you been, mate? I had some things to take care of last week, so that you ran the show along with the one and only Sean the Noob. And I've got to say, I watched it on the rewind. You smashed it, both of you. You've done a splendid job. You've done a splendid job, sir.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it, and glad everything went well last week. It was really fun. It was nerve-wracking, but it was fun. And I knew that we would wanted a show to go out because we didn't want to miss a Thursday. And hats off to Sean for joining me and holding my hand through it all. But I hope everybody did enjoy it. And if you haven't caught it, then if you want to watch the rewind, that would be appreciated.
I've got to say, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but it's one of the highest viewed Killer Comic shows we've had in a while.
That's Sean.
It's the power
Sean
of
has
the
that
noob.
effect. It's the power of the noob.
It is the power of the noob, and he is in the chat today. And so actually tonight we have got, he was first in. I think he's feeling a bit left out. He didn't get back invited on, mate. But you know, all good things come in small packages, mate. So we don't want to overcrowd the YouTube of your knowledge and everything.
And the funny thing is, Sean's about 4'8".
Well, hold on. I met up with a Poptimist on Saturday, and he's a giant compared to me. He's about 6'2". I'm only like 5'8". And so I felt like his son. I was just like looking up at him thinking, where are we going, Dad? Where are we going?
Daddy.
But the noob is in the chat. We've got Captain Comics, Ahoy Mates and Mermaids. Is it time to drop an anchor yet? I don't know if that's a euphemism or...
Is that Raymond slang?
You crack on, mate. Evening, Chuck. Hope you're well, buddy. Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you very much. Speak of the devil, here he is. Darren himself, the Poptimist. Great meeting you on Saturday, mate. Hopefully, we can get you to Thought Bubble in November because I think all of the lads would like to meet up here. So,
Darren, come on, let's go to Thought Bubble. Let's meet up. I think it'll be great crack.
Let's get him at Thought Bubble. We've got Perpetual Comics. Oi, oi. There we go. Liam, Only Pops and Sodas. Hello all. Hello, Jackie. Nice to have you in the chat, mate. Thank you very much. We have, there we go. Look, he wouldn't want to be anywhere else on a Tuesday. On a Thursday. It's a Tuesday. He's confusing me now. Is it Thursday? Is it Tuesday?
I have no idea. It's just Killer Comics Day. That's what we're going to rename it.
It's Tube Tuesday. It is. The noob loved it. Great crack. People like to see me cock up, Lowell. I'm glad
the funny thing is when he put that message up and I seen it for the first time, I completely misread it. You don't want to know what I misread.
I thought he said people like to see me have a cock up. So I was like, all right, well, whatever it is. We're here. Tom is sunning himself, or he was sunning himself. Where was he? Was he in
Costa del, England?
Costa del, England somewhere. Yeah, he was just sunning himself, reading comics, eating fish and chips, filling his face with him and his lovely missus. He took a 5-hour journey home today and couldn't be with us, but he's left me and Andy to take you through the early evening of Tuesday. And yeah, let's do it. We've got Mark Oldroyd. Thank you for joining us, sir. We've got Comics versus the World. Evening, gents. I'll look forward to catching up with this on the replay tomorrow. This is what it's about. If you can't sit in and let us bore you to death on the live, then also you can do that and let us bore you to death on the rewind as well. So yes, so last week was wicked. You guys absolutely smashed it, and everyone knows what we're about to do. We're getting closer and closer now. It's so good.
I love it.
We are getting so close now.
It's
4 weeks now, mate.
4 weeks or something like that.
We are getting so. When it started, it was like, oh, this is going to be an absolute we're in it for the long haul. There's so many great artists and writers to cover, but they've been coming thick and fast, mate. We've kept you busy.
It's been super fun to do it, and I think it's maybe something we'll consider doing after Thought Bubble. We'll just do
definitely
creator spotlights, but because it's getting so close to the big day or the big weekend, I should say, it's getting more difficult to choose what creator to actually spotlight because every one of them are absolutely fantastic. But I must admit, I'm picking the ones that I really really like and I've been following for a while. So
There we go. The Nubis said, can't wait. Thought Bubble ticket bought yesterday. And the Poptimist is going to have to check with the admin, a.k.a. the boss, a.k.a. the wife, a.k.a.
Smart. That's a smart play. Very smart.
That is the one. But who have you picked for us this week, Andy?
I have picked the one, the only Dani, who is an absolutely fantastic artist creator. So Dani is going to be at Thought Bubble, and as soon as I found it out, I was like, I was buzzing because I managed to meet Dani when I was last at New York Comic Con, and she was absolutely fantastic. So Dani was born in Athens, Greece, and studied sculpture in the Athens School of Fine Arts, if you will.
As you do.
As you do. She's worked for 2000 AD, IDW, Vault Comics, Boom, DC. She's worked for DC Hill House, and she is the artist and behind the creator-owned scenes Coffin Bound from Image Comics. I'm going to pick and choose some comics that I think people might be interested in, some that you'll recognise, some that you won't. And I know that you were good enough, Charlie, to put some covers of books that like the Lolo Woods, Casual Flings, Coffin Bound. And what I would really urge everybody to do, and I ask it for every creator that we spotlight, is go and give them a follow on Instagram and on Twitter. So Dani is Dani Strips on Instagram and on Twitter, and just let them know that the Killer Comics show sent you. We would really appreciate that.
Yes, it was. And yeah, when I did type in Dani Strips into Instagram, I thought it was going to come up with something else, but no, it didn't. It came up with this fantastic artist here. And yeah,
it's work safe. I can promise that it's work safe.
It is work safe. But yeah, take it away, sir. Take it away as you do every week.
So this was my introduction to Dani and her work. So this was the free comic book day for 2016 and 2017 for 2000 AD, and Dani had like a story within the book and was doing the artwork for it. In particular, she also done work on the 40th anniversary special. So you might have remembered that I'd showed a book, I think it was it last week or the week before, of the 2000 AD cover, 2000 AD, the David Ayer cover. Well, there was a Tula Lote cover of that as well. And
that was the week before. That was the week before.
Dani's actually done some stories in that. So these are quite free. They're obviously free because a free comic book do, but they're not like huge amounts of money on eBay and stuff like that. So I would highly recommend it. Some of the stories are great, especially if you're a 2000 AD fan. But this is how I was introduced to Dani's work.
I've never really, like, I was out on Saturday with the Poptimist and I was like flicking through, and I think I sent you a video of like the 2000 AD comics, but there's so many out there. Like there's so many out there. There's loads.
Well, there's like, what are we up to? over 2,000, nearly 2,000 now.
Yeah.
So it's the longest running comic. I'm going to say I'm going to commit and say it's the longest running comic. And you'll find that a lot of the creators, a lot of the artists and writers that you would be familiar with and comics started in 2000 AD, including the very own Jock, who we'll be talking to on Thursday.
And we have.
I know this is the Noob, one of Sean's favourites. He's a big
I love
Joe
this.
Hill fan.
I love this, and this, along with Hill House Comics. With this, along with The Plunge, along with Basket Full of Heads, for me, was one of the best horror comics I've read. This Hill House Comics kind of got me into the horror genre of comics. So I was a bit of a late starter, but the Lolo Woods is, for me, such a great horror comic. It's awesome.
Yeah. Every book that Joe Hill's done that I've read has been absolutely fantastic, including all the ones that you've mentioned there. But a lot of people don't realise that Dani actually done the pencils and the inks for all these issues. And if I remember correctly, this was a 6-issue run. So if you can't find it in trade paperback, definitely go and try and hunt out some of those single issues, because it's well worth it.
It is definitely. I think it was this one. It was 6 issues. Plunge was 6 issues. Basket Full of Heads was 12 issues, and then they've got like a carry on from the Basket Full of Heads. I think it comes out in November. A Refrigerator Full of Heads.
Brilliant. I love it.
So they're kind of carrying it on that. But this had a twist in it, like Basket Full of Heads did, and you kind of set yourself up. But the artwork in this is just so fitting to the story.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's awesome. It is, and I can't shout about this enough. Like, Dani, if you're there watching, congratulations, because this for me was awesome. You've done some awesome work on this, as you have done with the rest of the comics we're going to go over. But for me and the noob, this is one to watch out for.
100%. So I'm going to pick a few covers that I like, and I think that people would appreciate. So the first up is issue number 2 for An Unkindness of Ravens. This is the 1 in 10 incentive that Dani done. The Unkindness of Ravens is a 5-issue series, and I must admit, I think I only picked up the first issue of this, so I am officially on the hunt to try and find this 1 in 10 incentive, which I can't imagine will be too difficult to try and find and pick up. But I just love this cover. It reminded me a lot of Zoe Thorogood's artwork.
100%,
that we obviously spotlighted. So this is definitely one to try and find out, to source out. And from what I read of the first issue, it was a good story as well.
No, I really liked the first issue. I didn't really like pick it up and stuff, but it's a great cover though, isn't it? Like, I just love the fact that
the colours are great, and I like the composition of it. And if you know the story and you've read the first issue, then you actually appreciate the cover even more, to be fair. But yeah, this is definitely one that I'm going to try and pick up.
Definitely.
I think we've all seen this one, haven't we? I think I picked up at least 3 copies of this. And it wasn't by accident, like you normally do, Charlie, to be fair. So this is the Department of Truth issue number 5, and this was free to order. So this was cover B, wasn't an incentive or anything like that, and obviously it's written by James Tynion. But this is a Dani cover, and it's actually one of my favourites. So I would highly recommend, if you can find this in the back bins, to pick it up.
Well, you know, I was out when we was like looking at the comic shops on Saturday. I kind of see the trade paperback of this, and I was more interested in reading the trade than I have been for the comics. I think I read the first 1 or 2 issues, and then I kind of switched off, and it kind of just ran away because there were so many covers coming out, and I just couldn't keep up with it. But this is definitely a trade paperback I'm going to pick up and read.
Without doubt, yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. I mean, we're at 15 issues up to December, I think.
Yeah.
And then in April next year, that's when the third trade paperback is going to come out. So if you want to pick up that trade paperback or any of the issues that are coming up, then make sure you check out Not Quite Mint, and Tom will be able to sort you out.
Definitely. Again, another fantastic. We covered this. We covered the first issue.
Did.
Way back when.
That seems like a lifetime ago. That was Abbott 1973 issue number 1. This is the 1 in 25 for cover C for issue number 3, and this also had a black and white Virgin variant as well. And I think it was fair to say that for us, we read, I think, the first issue of this, and we never kind of continued with it. I know I didn't follow it up, but in fairness, because this cover is so stunning, I picked up this 1 in 25. So I just again, I love the composition, and I think that Dani has a fantastic quality when she's drawn females. And this one, like, if you like, you have to take a second look to notice that her dress actually has the person's face with a camera in it as well, because you could be mistaken for missing it.
Yeah. No, I think you've just pointed that out, and I've just realised that.
Because the great thing about this cover is, you know, you obviously focus on the face, she's smoking as well, and then it sort of leads you down, and then you realise, wow, okay, the dress is actually someone else's face, which is superb.
But it's just so amazing how like you can see it. I can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it. Yeah, absolutely. And this was 5 issues, guys, so there's not a huge buy-in for this. So if you can pick up in the back bins, then definitely do so. And I think that even though this is a 1 in 25, I don't think this is going for a huge amount on eBay. So if it's something that you like, then go check it out.
Definitely like that one. This for me, I think this comic for me, didn't it get like it got one of these, didn't it?
The third, was it the third? Do you know, I could have happily given every single issue of Layla Starr one of those, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think this was the smoking issue, wasn't it? This was the one about
the cigarette.
So the Many Deaths of Layla Starr issue 3. This was cover B. Again, it was open order, so it wasn't any sort of incentive, and obviously written by the absolutely fantastic Ram V, a friend of the show. And this is the cover art by Dani. Again, a cover of another female character. So again, I love the way that, obviously, if you've read Layla Starr, you know the background to it and the sort of the heritage of the Indian heritage. And I think Dani's absolutely nailed this cover.
I think it's just like it's honestly, it's great. And obviously, again, this one was about a cigarette. And she's just covered it perfectly here with this cover and stuff. It's just awesome. And it is very like, I like the line work. It is very similar to what Zoe Thorogood does. You know, like where the lines aren't perfect, but they're perfectly drawn, not perfect, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. But do you notice, and this once I show you this, you'll probably never unsee it again. Obviously, you can see the face of the lady in the smoke cloud, but can you see the 2 skulls?
Yeah, either side.
Brilliant.
That is just... It is amazing, like what they do, and like something like this, it looks unfinished, but it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact is, with me or you, I'd be like, well, I need to do that, and then you kind of overcomplicate things.
Yeah, it's perfect in its simplicity. I think is a good way to put it.
Definitely.
I
read this first issue.
I must admit, I haven't picked any of these books up. So if I remember rightly, this was only 4 issues this run, and obviously you can buy the trade paperback as well. So this is Casual Fling from 2021. AWA Upshot, which is a fantastic publisher as well, and it was written by Jason Starr, and Dani done the cover art for all 4 issues. You can tell, what was the first issue like? What was the premise?
It's pretty erotic. I'm just trying to think without going too much into it. If you think Eyes Wide Shut with Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise. Yeah, we'll go with Tom Cruise. It's kind of like that, but it's basically like they kind of just do what they want to do, and they've got this other side of the life, and it was good. I read it, but I was like, it's not a story that I'd want to read week in, week out. But again, the artwork's fantastic. Like the artwork really plays up to like the story, and you can see like what Dani does really well is works really closely with the writers to get everything on board and aligned and stuff. But yeah, it was good, and for all you like exotic readers out there, and you might really enjoy it.
I'm on eBay just now trying to find all 4 issues.
But yeah, crack on. It was a good one. I liked it. What we got next?
Next up, we have the creator-owned Coffin Bound. So this was written by Dan Waters, and the art and the cover art for this, I think it was 8 issues in total. And yeah, so I don't think this is finished either. So 8 issues is just up to the 2nd story arc, and it's not one that I've picked up yet because I keep promising myself I'm just going to go ahead and buy the trades but I do know that one of my LCS's, Coffee and Heroes, they have some of the single issues. So I'm going to try, now that I've obviously done the creator spotlight on Dani, I'm going to try and seek out some of the issues and see if I can build up the issues before that 3rd arc starts.
I think this is what I've got to take my hat off to you, and like the way that you've done this, and you've kind of highlighted. I think we mentioned it when we did Kieran Gillen. Not a lot of people know that the comics and the stuff that he's done because he goes so unnoticed. And I think Dani's like that. She's so sublime and amazing at what she does.
Yeah.
But it's not shouted about. And you can kind of, if you're not a massive fan of Dani, you will miss it. And it's not a bad thing. It's because obviously everyone's got their own fans and people that they follow and stuff like that. But with this show, now seeing like obviously the slides that you've put together, I'm starting to recognise more of her work now. I'm like, yes, I knew I've seen this coming, but I didn't know it was her. And now I kind of understand it, because this is what we're trying to do on the show. We're trying to highlight.
That's not 100%. That's exactly what we're trying to do. I mean, it's great that these guys are going to Thought Bubble and we're going to get the opportunity to meet them, hopefully. But I think more importantly, it's to give people that are watching live and on the replay an opportunity to go and find these books. And obviously, I can recommend stuff, and so can you. But it really comes down to personal taste. But you know, one thing from a personal perspective is when I've been putting these together, I've even realised books that and covers that I didn't know that I wanted until I seen them. So hopefully that will be the opportunity to sort of go, well, I'll try something a bit different.
Yeah, definitely. And then last but not least,
yes,
I'm so
Arkham
looking forward
City,
to this one. I'm so looking
The
forward to it.
Order of the World. So I think this is going to be a 6-issue run. And again, this is Dan Waters again, who's writing. So obviously these guys are a bit of a duo when it comes to creating books. I can't forget. I think this first issue might have either been out. Is it out next week or out this week? I'm really bad. I should know when this comes out, but I think it's literally imminent that this comes out, and I'm almost sure it was either this week or last week that this was out. Maybe somebody in the chat can tell us. But because Dani's doing the artwork on this, I'm going to try and read it and see what it's like. But even if we just go by some of the artwork on the cover, it looks stunning.
I think I'm just checking now. I think it came out. Was it the week before? Yeah, it came out last week. So it came out the 6th.
Last week. There we go.
So,
there we go.
But I mean, I'm really looking forward to reading this. Like the artwork looks wicked. It really does. And I think the story as well seems pretty decent.
There's a lot of Batman books out at the minute and coming out. And it's difficult to pick up them all. And it's interesting to see. I'm just looking for somebody to do something completely different with Batman and with Gotham City. And I'm just hoping that it's not the same thing again. But even if you're just picking this up just for the artwork, I think for 6 issues, it's not a huge buy-in. It's a no-brainer. But
I think we can all agree is that Dani's great at what she does, and she loves cats as well.
Like, she does.
She literally, and I've noticed that when she commented on the post that we posted yesterday, she gave a shout out and put a little cat and stuff like that. But it's great. Like she's awesome, and she does work really close with Dan Waters. I think she's on a show sometime this week with Dan Waters, and I think they're just like a character. They're talking about what they've got coming up and stuff, because they've got quite a lot coming up, and they've worked quite closely over the last couple of years as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's Dani's definitely somebody that I'm looking to go and get some books signed and have a chat and stuff like that. And I know obviously we've been interacting on social media with her. So if she does catch us and does see this, then we're looking forward to buying you a pint or a wine or something like that.
Yeah, we're going to be skint by the time we've got this, because we've got so many people to buy drinks for.
Yeah, it's like 15 or 16 different creators that we're going to do by the end of it, and we're literally going to have to buy every single one of them a drink.
I think we just have to whack it on the Killer Comics credit card. I haven't got it yet, but I will get it.
We'll I'll tell you, we'll need it.
I know, but this is also what I love about this segment of the show, is because after we've done it, I'm looking through thinking, well, I've got that comic, right, I'll put that to one side, and before you know it, I'm literally taking a 20-kilogram suitcase with me to Thought Bubble.
I'm doing exactly the same. I've actually got a list of books that I'm trying to take, and I'm actually trying to find books on eBay and stuff like that I've gone, oh, I'd really like to get that signed. And obviously we've got something coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks that we're going to let everybody know about, which is going to be pretty exciting. So it's not going to be easy to pick what books. And I'm not allowed to take a suitcase. It's just a carry-on hold all. Even though I've booked 3 flights for this thing, I'm only allowed to take a hold all.
You could have gone to New York Comic Con, come back with the amount of money that you spent on flights. But
it's going to be worth it, mate. It's going to be worth it.
It will. But I mean, the chat's been going like pretty mental as we've been talking. So we've got the noob says, yeah, you can't go wrong with Hill House Comics. Lolo Woods is great. Joe Hill has absolutely, he's done really well with that. Poptimist, oh wow, Matt Ferguson is at Thought Bubble as well. Yep, I think we're slowly getting to Darren now. I think he's slowly going to come. The longest running UK comic,
Judge Dredd,
Judge Dredd. Ivan Coelho is there too. Yep. Mark Oldroyd, the Beano started in 1938. You're showing your age there, Mark. If you turn around and say you got the first appearance of Nasher, then we know how old you are.
And the Beano's still going as well, isn't it?
It is.
The Beano is actually still. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. We've got GP Venom Comics and Collectibles has joined us. Hello, sir. We have Tim. Nice joining us there, sir. The Hobgoblins Hideaway. Evening, guys. I think he's probably taking an evening off. This guy does not stop. He really doesn't stop. There we go. Might have to make the trip now to get some stuff signed. See, I knew it. I knew it would. I knew this is the problem of the show. We've surprised you on a Tuesday, and now you've just got a suitcase full of comics to get signed.
I can't promise that we'll look after you, but at 6'2", we need a bouncer. So
yeah, we do. Well, we've got. My problem is deciding whether to bring bags for clothes or just comics to get signed. There's no deciding. You just bring the comics.
There's a Comic-Con convention trick, and you just take one pair of boxer shorts and turn them inside out daily.
Well, this is it. GP Venom. Just smell for a few days and take books. That is it. That is see what I mean? Like that is that. Yeah. I always smell, go, so no change there. There we go. Well, that's poor hygiene there. There we go. What else have we got? Jock's Batman is the one I'm looking forward to the most. I think
100%.
Not just saying that because we're massive fans of Jock, but it does look pretty special.
And it's only 3 issues. That's the thing. It's only 3 issues. So I would strongly suggest you go get your pre-order in. And I know that Not Quite Mint has them. So that's where to go and get them.
And Liam has asked, are we going to MCM? Now, I normally go to MCM every October. But this year, because we are going to Thought Bubble, I'm kind of saving myself for that because I don't think MCM is going to be what it normally is. I think because of obviously the backlog with COVID and stuff like that. And I think the fact that Tom Hiddleston is charging £275 a picture, I think it's not going to, and Darren the Optimist said it on Saturday, it's not going to be what people are expecting it to be. You're going to be wearing a mask, you're going to be in front of a shield, and then you're going to have your picture taken, take your mask off. Then you're going to go behind the shield and then talk to him again. And it's kind of not going to want to be what people want it to be. And I don't think the experience is there.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. I was actually speaking to my wife about the exact same thing and saying, like, if I was going to pay that amount of money to meet someone like that, I would expect, the whole point of it is to embrace that person in some form or fashion. You're not going to jump on them, but you want to give them a hug, a high five, and
you don't even talk to him. You don't even get to talk to him.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay. Thanks for clearing that up, Lee. And that's probably just that put me off even more. I was looking forward to going there and maybe just having a little chinwag with him, but now I'm definitely not going. And it's like when you mention Not Quite Mint, it's like a signal goes up in the air and he just sees the flashing neon and just appears. Available at notquitemint.com. I hope you haven't wrote that while you're driving, Tom, because I just really hope you're not, mate. Scott Snyder, not there, just seen their IG. Yeah, so there was a release, I think it was the beginning of the week last, or was it mid last week? There's quite a few people have pulled out and they're either not coming or they're rescheduled to go there next year. But I think we kind of all expected it, to be honest. I think
I was surprised there's not been more people that have decided to do the same thing. And I think he's confirmed for next year's Thought Bubble. So it's just an excuse to go to next year's as well. Because I honestly think all going well, that the Thought Bubble Killer Comics might be an annual getaway for us lads.
And there we go, Tim wearing his kinky boots. Casual Fling was the book a lot of people would presume they wouldn't enjoy, but was a great little read. See, I said that about 50 Shades of Grey. I read every single 50 Shades of Grey book. Didn't think I was going to enjoy it. Absolutely enjoyed it, but didn't like the movie. Couldn't get into the movie. Didn't like it.
I'm learning a lot more about you, Charlie, than I want to.
Wait till Thought Bubble, mate. Oh, it's not you. I'm sharing a room with. It's Tom, isn't it? Oh well.
Be 150 shades of grey.
50 Shades of Not Quite Mint. There we go. Mark is only charging a £5 for a photo, and
That's a bargain.
That's on his OnlyFans. That's mark.oldroyd@onlyfans.com. So make sure you head over there and check it out. Regarding Loki, you only get 2 to 3 seconds with them, like an Audi checkout. I've spent £450 for a photo and an autograph. I hope you enjoy it, mate. I hope you enjoy it. And I do get what you're saying about Audi, because every time I go to the checkout, Tina is just throwing my shopping at me. She's like, just put it in the bag and get out. I've got more people to deal with. And I hope that isn't like that at MCM Comic Con, but who knows? Who actually knows? To have a picture with the Killer Comic crew, it will cost you a pint. That's going to be a pint well spent, because what'll happen, you'll buy us a pint, and then before you know it, you've got 3 of us buying you a pint.
Correct. That's definitely worth it, and also gets you a free ticket to the karaoke evening as well.
It does. We don't know what room that's going to be in yet, and we don't know if we're going to still be in our hotel when that happens, but we'll all let you know. And look, a selfie with the Poptimist equals priceless. It is. I thoroughly enjoyed my day date with Darren on Saturday. He came all the way from Leicester to meet me. There's a funny story about him meeting me. I won't share it on here, but it did have us in giggles, because, well, actually I can go into it for a bit. We only see the top half of us when we talk. So when I talked to Darren, it was only the top half. And when us guys talk, we haven't actually met yet. Me, you, Tom, we haven't met yet. The noob, James, we haven't met. And it's going to be really interesting when we get to Thought Bubble. So when I'm meeting Darren on the Saturday, it could have gone either way. I could have been 3'2", and Darren would have had to carry me on his shoulders all the way, like all day. I'm 5'8", and Darren did have to carry me on his shoulders all day. But it was an enjoyable day. It was a wicked day. So yeah, I'm hoping he will come to Thought Bubble. But
did you get any nice pickups, Charlie?
I did get some nice pickups, and on that note, I'm literally just going to go. There we go. We'll go back to it. Segue. There we go. But I did get some nice pickups. So what I'll do, I'll go through the ones that I picked up on Saturday. I did try to convert Darren to the dark side, and he was having a little mooch looking, but I don't know if he picked up. He did want to pick up some comics. I don't know if he managed to find them on eBay or had a little spend up like he does. But I'm going to go with. I picked up these. Now I haven't really got a few of these, but this is a.
I have that one.
Lenticular one. I'm a Harley Quinn fan, so seeing that. These are from Gosh Comics in London. If you are in London, check them out. They're a niche little comic book store in like the heart of Carnaby Street, Soho way. But yeah, this is great. Like, love that. It was only £3. Nice. Then I had another one, Batman Superman. You can't really see it because of the thing, but he's throwing a car. That's Superman.
Oh yeah, I can see it. Yeah, that's
cool. Batman. That was another one for £3. And then this one I thought was quite good. This is Thor 275. Again, this was for £3 in a nice little bargain bin, and it is the first appearance of Loki's wife, Sigyn. Is it Sigyn? Nice. I think I'm saying Sigyn. Sigyn. But yeah, I was pretty surprised with that. I was like, whoa, I love that, and it is in immaculate condition. Like for a 1978 comic, it's in really, really good condition. And I know you were shocked when I showed you, and you was like, bag and boarded. Where are you shopping?
Yeah, very posh.
So that was that I picked up from my little visit to London on Saturday. But then on the Wednesday before, I was on a Facebook group and I managed to pick up some more Scotty Young for my ever-growing collection. So obviously this is the all-new, all different Avengers #1. We've got Miss
I think
Marvel.
That's a key. If I'm not mistaken, I think there's something about that book that makes it a key.
If anyone in the chat knows if this is a key, let me know. But I will be looking into that. But I can't. I love Scotty Young. I can't help it. Got that one, Extreme Carnage.
Nice.
It's another awesome comic. And then this one for me, I really, really enjoyed. I know it's a white cover, but The Defenders #1. And this was
they're superb, yeah.
They are, and this was off of a guy. I'm going to call him Mr. Bard, Mr. Baird. But he was on a Facebook group. I will find the link and I will share it in the chat because he's got so many Scotty Young covers and they're all going for like reasonable prices, like 3 for 10, some of the higher ones 2 for 15 and stuff. So yeah, do check him out. But that was my little pickup for the week. What about you? What did you get?
Yeah, I've got a few nice pickups. So first up is one that I've been looking to get, certainly since I read Sea of Sorrows. This is by Rich Jewett, another friend of the show, and this is Wailing Blade.
Oh, nice.
So I managed to pick up issue number 1 with the lovely gold foil, issue number 2, which has the silver foil, and issue number 3.
Cool. That's a nice cover, that one.
Yeah, that's the great thing about these. They're
wicked
covers. So this, do you know what? I don't think I paid a huge amount for this. I think I actually got a deal like £3 for all 4 of these. Plus obviously postage, which I was like, I wonder if the condition's going to be there. But to be fair, I don't even think the person's read these, to be honest with you.
They look wicked.
Yeah, they're super. Really, really happy to pick those up. So big shout out to Rich. I know Rich. I think I read socials that he'd been unwell. So hope everything's okay. Get well soon, Rich.
Get better soon, mate.
Next up is a little bit of a spec book at the minute. It's Reptile, issue number 1.
Yeah.
First appearance of this guy, and I think there's talk of him being involved in a future TV show.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's all about the dinosaurs. This boy. So yeah, if you can find that, I think I paid £4 for this.
Wow.
So it's definitely one if you find it to try and pick it up. And again, spotless condition. So I was really happy with that. This is my spec play, if there's such a thing as a spec play. I'm not a big, huge speculation person, but I think this character is going to be huge in the MCU if they introduce her. And this is the first appearance of Naomi, who is a character in Wakanda. And this is FF issue 19, so Fantastic Four issue 19. And if you can find this book, I would stack it as much as you possibly can. The reason I'm specking on this is because I think it's in Disney World. One of the new sort of attractions that they have, there's actually plaques of different characters, and one of the characters is Anomi. So there's lots of chat that she's going to be introduced into the MCU at some point.
That's a wicked cover, though. Like they look immaculate. All of them comics that you've shown look immaculate. And then where they're from, eBay.
And these the Wailing Blades were from eBay, and I think I picked this up from Close Encounters.
Okay, yeah.
.co.uk. So, and then my big buy was this, which you may have seen on my Instagram. So this is Original Sin issue 0, and this is a 1 in 50 variant cover. And I think I picked this up from Comicana direct, and it wasn't hugely expensive, but I know that it's going for quite a bit after the What If series.
He looks a bit like you.
He does. He looks like a slimmer version of me.
He really does. He really does.
Hold on. No?
He's got more frown lines than you, though, mate. You're not working hard enough.
Oh, thanks. But no, that was my pickups for this week. And do you know, I love this segment, Charlie. I want to keep this segment going because it's giving me a good excuse to buy more stuff.
Yes, it is. And I was like, and even when, like, the funny thing is, when I was out with Darren on Saturday, as he said, there was a great little shop enjoyed nosing around. That is Gosh Comics. I was going through them thinking, I need to get this because I want to show it off on I want to show it off on the show. Yeah, I'm looking for definitely. And before you know it, I'm buying like loads of comics because I want to show them off on a show. But then because I'm like, I need to buy more. There's a reason here for me to buy more, as if I haven't got enough already.
It's as if we need an excuse, to be fair.
I know. And Liam said, have you seen the Scotty Young figures? We did. We see a few of them in Forbidden Planet. And I literally had to keep my hands in my pockets to not pick them up because as soon as I pick them up, I'm going to buy them. And I can't be buying no more figures. I'm like Liam and Darren will tell you, I'm addicted to bloody. I've kind of switched over from collecting Funko Pops now. I'm into the soda pops. like the soda pop, because I think there's so much more detail in them, and I think there's so much more around them. I think Funko like saturating the market with anything that's coming out. So yeah, if there's anything else there for me to collect, I'm kind of just trying to stay away from it for the time being.
Is it technically not a statue though? Can you not get away with saying that it's a statue?
I don't know. I'll have to speak to the boss about that, but I know her thoughts.
See how that goes down. Just say it's a statue. It's a collectible.
See, here we go. Look, if you haven't checked him out yet, head over to Oni_pops and _sodas on Instagram. There's so many pops out there, and he was lucky enough to get one of his pictures retweeted by John Cena. Because for the premiere of Suicide Squad in Leicester Square, it was a fantastic picture, absolutely amazing picture. He put it up. John Cena liked it. Now, John Cena doesn't post anything. John Cena does not post anything on Instagram, but yet he found this picture, posted it, and I've got to say, it was an awesome, awesome picture. And I mean, getting shared by John Cena.
I have a question. So these sodas that you're talking about, did it have a Judge Dredd or 2000 AD line?
Darren, Liam, if you can jump in and confirm that, that'd be great. But I am going to drop in. I've just dropped in Liam's Instagram, and I'm also going to drop in the Poptimist as well, because there's one picture on there that is absolutely sensational. So I think that deserves a share as well. But no, there isn't yet. There isn't yet, because we know you're slightly addicted to Judge Dredd.
Not interested then. I was a Funko collector for 3 days until I got my Judge Dredd pop. Now I've retired, so it was fun.
But we've spoken about collectibles, we've spoken about our pickups, we've spoken Dani, Thought Bubble and stuff. Up next, we got the killer covers for this week. Now,
nice.
Who's up first? I think it might be your lovely self.
Oh, what about this cover, ladies and gentlemen? Ladies and gentlemen, just sit back, relax, and take this cover in. This is absolutely stunning. This is the issue number 9 for Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And this is from the Archie horror line. And this is from the fantastic Ivan Teo, who has been doing stunning work. If you go and check out Ivan's Instagram, just be amazed at some of the work that he's doing. But I just loved how detailed this is. And I just love the cat as well. His
face, he's not happy, is he?
Oh, it's absolutely superb. Now, I'm not a huge Sabrina, the Teenage Witch fan, but every day, all day, I'll try and pick up this book. And in this particular is the Virgin variant book. And I think everyone will agree, once you put up the voting system, that this guy's has to be cover of the week.
You didn't do that last week, and I couldn't
because you have to be logged into your YouTube.
Just a reminder, I know you did, because I heard you say, I've got to change my mind. I actually like that one. And then you kind of liked my one anyway.
I did a little bit.
I do like them, Natalie Sanders. Like, I think the way that she does like the magazine thing is I'm kind of going through collecting them. I've got the Harley Quinn one. I think I've got the Miracle Molly one. I'm going to get the Wonder Woman one and stuff like that. But yeah, you did use your Scottish charm to win. I wasn't logged in, so we couldn't place the vote, that type of thing. But when I first see this, I kind of thought it was a Jenny Frisson. Like, I looked at it and was like, oh, there's similarities there.
I think that's why I was so attracted to it, to be perfectly honest with you, because that was my instant thought when it caught my eye. But again, I think with this one, it's one of those covers that you could look at it 2 or 3 times and see different things from it. Because if you even look at the detail of the background and the circle that she's in, you're kind of thinking to yourself, is that the moon? Is that the reflection? Is that, what exactly is it? And I just think this, they say like a picture tells it says 1,000 words. I think definitely this cover does.
I think she left I think he left his coffee mug on it, and it's just literally created that ring.
It's made the stain.
I think that is. But so that was your pick. Fantastic. Like, we've got to start this off strongly, and you probably just knocked the ball out of the park, as you do every single week. So I think you've won every one. But I'm going with this. I'm going with the friend of the Killer Comic Show, Mr. David Nakayama. Now, this is X-Men 4. This is the David Nakayama Cyclops variant B. I'm not a massive X-Men fan. And I was
Oh,
torn.
I know. Oh, I know.
I was torn between this and Batman the Imposter. Like, because Batman the Imposter, I think the main cover is Batman, and then underneath it's Batman upside down, and he's the imposter and stuff like that. But for me, these are great. He's done some fantastic covers. Like he's done like the color splash ones and everything. And this for me is just amazing.
This reminds me a little bit of like the trading cards that you used to get
Yes.
back in the day. You know, the
Mhm.
Fleer trading cards.
Yeah.
And I must admit, you know, David's obviously been on the show. He's a great friend of the show and stuff, and his work's absolutely spectacular. And you can always tell a David Nakayama cover now, and I think that's kudos to him. You know, he's got that certain look about it. It'd have been interesting with this one if they'd done it like a negative variant, you know, negative color.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it? Negative space variant.
Mhm.
I thought that'd have been cool. And yes, it's great, but it's not as good as mine.
Oh, okay, well, we will let the chat decide, and then. But also, we have got Tom did send through his one, and it is again when we're just name dropping it. It's another friend of the Killer Comic Show. It's Mr. Alan Quay, and this is Dark Ages issue number 2, variant A.
Did I miss the memo where we were only allowed to put up covers of friends of the show?
No, but maybe we can get Ivan on the show, and then we can just revisit it and say we knew it was coming.
That's where I was going. I was like, you know, we've got 2 people. We may as well get a hat trick.
There we go. But I mean, Dark Ages, great cover. Alan Quay smashing it at the moment. This geezer just doesn't seem to stop working. The Virgin cover of this is very nice. I couldn't remember if Tom picked the Virgin or he picked the Standard, but we're going to go with this. So what I'm going to do now, this is obviously the free covers. I'm going to drop the community question, and we will run that until the end of the show. And
and this cover's great, Charlie, but it's another ASM 300 homage. How many 300 homages do we need to see?
And you remember John Boy said this. He said there's nothing wrong with homages. He said because obviously you're paying tribute to a fantastic cover. He said, but how many times can you do it? How many times can you take your point across on it? But it is a fantastic cover. So we are going to let the I'm literally just going to drop into the thing already, and it seems like Sabrina's on 80% already. X-Men has none, and Dark Ages has 20% of the votes. So,
what can I say? Look, everybody in the chat has phenomenal taste. That's, you know,
yeah.
that's the defeated look in Charlie's face.
It's not. I'm just like, oh, for God's sake, he's done it again.
Not another one.
Not another one. But yeah, right. As we're talking about covers, we are on week number 40. We're week 41 this week. Week 40 was last week. There were some quality comics out last week, and I know me and you have been talking this week how good they were. Let's just get it started. A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance. Andy, this was your cover, mate. This is obviously... Yeah, take it away. It's your cover, mate. It's your comic.
I was just going to say, we as the Killer Comics know a good week of comics because our private chat is just all about the comics and talking about them. So this was another great week. I'm just looking at this voting, and I can see that X-Men's 29%. Have you get members of your family to log into to the channel to vote?
I've got 15 YouTube channels open right now, so I'm just clicking.
No, but this book is a righteous thirst for vengeance. This is the great Rick Remender on writing, and Andre Lima. I'm going to see if I can pronounce Araujo. So Andre to his friends. And this has been one that I've been really looking forward to reading, for the simple fact that Rick Remender was writing it. And Declan Shalvey was also doing one of the covers as well. I don't think you've got Declan's cover. No. How rude.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
But yes, first off with this is, have you ever had kind of one of those days where you wake up and everything just seems to be going wrong? You know, you find yourself, you know, one thing after the other. I've had a couple
of months like that, mate.
I was going to say, as soon as I was saying it, I was thinking, actually, is this something? And you know, every decision that you seem to make when you get out of bed just leads to one problem
Mhm.
after the other. This is kind of like the day in the life of this particular character, whose name is Benedict Wong. And let me just kick off here, guys. There is not a huge amount of reading in this particular book.
No.
It reminded me a little bit of Haha issue 3, which was the main character.
Yeah.
But I think that is the absolute beauty of this book. And I read a lot of reviews where people just kind of dismissed it and didn't like it because they were literally finished the book within minutes, and people were going, well, you know, what have I spent this money on? But for me, the artwork and the color work spoke volumes about this book and just put you right bang in the center of Benedict's world. And you instantly, well, I certainly instantly felt a kind of an emotional connection with this character. But as I'm reading the book and I'm going through the story, I'm kind of a second guessing myself, going, well, should I be enjoying this character as much? Because I have to question, you know, some of the stuff that he does and that he sees. You have to think, is he actually seeing this happening? So, for instance, I guess we can give spoilers.
Yeah.
There's a part where there's I think it's a pigeon that's dying on the road, and he has to make the choice whether or not to, you know, put it out its misery effectively. Back on the bus, and then you think he's just left it, and then you see him just this big panel just splat hitting the bird and effectively putting it out its misery. It felt a little bit like the movie Falling Down.
100% with Michael Douglas.
That's what it felt like. It sort of felt like a comic of that. Is this guy dreaming? Is my thoughts, Charlie?
Well,
has he committed all these acts?
Well, this is the thing. So for me, I messaged you saying there's not a lot of words in this comic. Like if I picked up a dud here, like have I got like a limited edition misprint where there's no narrative at
you're
all?
Like looking at it going, what's going on?
How? Because I think it's for about the first 5 or 6 pages. There's nothing. And I was kind of like, well, I'm definitely into this. And as the story goes on, I message you, and it's a big claim because Made in Korea is one of the greatest comic books that's out there at the moment. It's got to say, Made in Korea is sensational. For me, this issue as a first issue is up there with Made Korea #1 because it was psychologically a seriously messed up comic, but it's a great comic. Now there's the plot in it is I really don't want to give any spoilers away because this is such a great comic. It is a righteous thirst for vengeance, and it's righteous thirst for reading because this comic is incredible, and you kind of grab pieces from the different panels and stuff like that. And then the ending for me was just, there was one part in it though that when he does a certain thing happens in a supermarket, it kind of gave it away for me. I was like, right, this is what it's about now. This is who we're involved with. But I just didn't see it coming.
But I think the beauty of that is that it was that we got all this from a book that has maybe, I don't know, 100 words in it. You know, and there's not many books that can do that and let you go away from that book thinking about what's just happened. You're basically making up your own imagination. I think less is definitely more when it comes to this book. It's definitely quality over absolute quantity. And I would agree with you. It's probably up there with my top first issues in books, along with one of the other books that we reviewed this week. So I would say to anybody who is watching live, is going to watch this in the rewind, definitely try and pick this book up and give it a go, because I guarantee once you're finished it, you'll go back again and then you'll go back for a third time, and you will definitely want to pick up issue #2, if only just to see what happens.
Because even Jeremy, again another friend of the show, tweeted the other day he was reading this and he was like, yeah, Rick can do no wrong, like this is a sensational comic. And when that's coming from Jeremy Hull, who absolutely changed, like literally Made in Korea, was awesome. No one was expecting that. for him to say, this is honestly, I really, really enjoyed this. And I want to pick up every single cover because I think they're amazing. They really are amazing.
Yeah. I think fantastic writers recognize fantastic writers at the end of the day, and I seen the same Instagram that you did as well, and it kind of I was like a fist in the air, going, yes, there's someone else who actually likes this story, and who appreciates it for what it's trying to convey. But yeah, I think this is going to be huge. This book, I can't see us not picking up these issues, and it's going to be a really interesting way to see what this character's all about.
And I've seen these covers. I think I see 3 of these covers in the comic shop on Saturday, and they look so much better when you're holding them. Like the colours really pop. Like every single colour, the red, the orange, the purple, they all pop. They're amazing. And even just to get them, to have them in a collection is awesome. But is this, what is this, 5 issues, 5, 6 issues?
Do you know, that is a great question. I'm not 100% sure how many issues. I'm assuming it's going to be a 5 or 6 issue story arc at the very least. But it seems to me that it's maybe going to be like an ongoing potentially. And if it's not, then it definitely should be.
I'm definitely looking. I'm invested. It's an absolute killer for me. 100% killer.
Yeah, 100% killer for me. And I think the main cover and Declan's cover are my 2 favourites. I would definitely go and try and get them.
Apologies, Declan. I didn't manage to put your cover up there, but I do apologise. If you ever do come on the show, I will sincerely apologise to your face because I'm in the wrong here, because it is a great cover. But yeah, that was your pick for last week. Now this is Tom's pick. Tom is not here, but this is obviously Dark Ages issue number 2, written by Tom Taylor, art by the fantastic Ivan Coelho, and this again came out last week, October 6th, available from Not Quite Mint and eBay. Because well, it is, because the prices for these covers is going up through the roof. I know the first one is kind of like £7 or £8 now. What did you think of this? Because I know we love the first issue.
Yeah, I don't read a lot of Marvel. I don't read, I'm like you. I don't read a lot of X-Men or Avengers and stuff like that. But this is fantastic. It's just fun. I think after reading, especially the 2 books that we reviewed this week, it's like parking those at the side and then just chilling and letting you don't have to think about this book too much. It's just it does what it does. And the artwork, I think, is the greatest thing about this book. I think the art by Ivan Coelho is sublime. The colour work specifically as well in this. And I think Tom Taylor's taken a really interesting plot line. And I think, particularly in this issue, it took a real twist at the end, which I wasn't expecting. And I think for the next coming issues, I think that's where we're going to get the real, meat to this story, and things will definitely happen. But every cover that I've seen has been pretty spot on as well.
Yeah, this is from the Marvel sister brand, which is Image, because I do love an Image logo. I've done it again.
So that's Declan you're apologising to, and you're apologising to Marvel as well.
Yeah, I am. I do apologise. But Dark Ages, for me, issue number 1, I think we said, took us back to being kids reading a comic. There was you could just sit down, chill out and read this comic. This for me, number 2, I thoroughly enjoyed it. The artwork, I'm definitely going to continue reading it, but I just don't want it to fall into the same pattern as King in Black did. Where the first issue had so much involved in it, so much character development and everything, you really got invested in it. And then issue 3, 4, 5, and 6, you kind of just fell by the wayside. You're like, I don't want that to happen to this because I'm really enjoying this. It kind of got my taste buds again for like reading comics, being a kid, and this is why I kind of got into comics. So I really don't want it to go down like that. And with it ending how it did, I can't see that happening. But then, who knows? It is Marvel at the end of the day.
I hope it. I'm with you. I hope it doesn't just end up at just another one of those stories. And I think for the first 2 issues, Tom Taylor specifically is really good at building up that world as well. And he's done that really, really well in the first 2 issues. So I hope that he continues to do that. And let's just see how it develops. I'll be reading issue number 3, whether it's with the show or just on my own. But hats off to Tom for picking this one up.
Yeah, I managed to I got the first cover and I got the Scotty Young cover for the first issue. And obviously I've got this on my pull list with Tom, but I really wanted Scotty Young to keep doing the continuation of covers through, like, for the 6 issues, I think.
He's a busy man, let's be fair.
He is, very much. Leon, thank you very much for joining, mate. Yep, definitely drop in and hit us on the rewind. But before you go, just make sure you hit the... go for the cover of the week winner and X-Men. Everyone's voting for X-Men at the moment, so if you can just jump in and vote for that'd be very much appreciated. And
don't give us
speak.
a thumbs up on anything. No. As long as you vote, like, we don't want a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I guess.
I was saying this to Darren. I said, like, having a thumbs up or a thumbs down, it's all good because you're watching the show, you're invested in the show. But I'd love to know if the thumbs down was for a reason. So if anyone's watching on the rewind and you decide to give us a thumbs down, just let us know why you're giving a thumbs down, because sometimes I give a thumbs down to my own show and then I realise, no, I shouldn't have done that. It's meant to be a thumbs up. It's a slip of the mouse. Everyone makes mistakes, but we all know you need to put the thumbs up. There we go. Nice try, Charlie. There we go. Is that for the thumbs up, thumbs down, or is it for the X-Men cover? And I'm guessing, I think he's going to go for the Sabrina cover. But there we go. Yeah, Dark Ages. Now, I'm going to say this is a killer because I'm going to invest my time in this. I invested my time in it. I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely a killer. So yeah, Tom,
100%.
You've done a nice one there, mate. And then for me, there we go, Chicken Devil. Now this has been getting quite a lot of hype because on Twitter, a Chicken Devil account has popped up, and it's literally, they're all over the Twitter. They've started following myself. They started following you. They started retweeting our tweets. And I didn't know if it was a gimmick. Like, I didn't know if someone had just created this and was just going along for the ride. But I actually think it is the Chicken. I think he's on one. Honestly,
I can't say enough about this book. It is phenomenal. I as soon as I seen this in previews, I think I put it up in my Instagram as one to watch.
Yeah.
And I just the cover A is it draws you in, and it literally is winner chicken dinner with this book. It is lunch, dinner, and dessert. You get everything in one. Between the writing, between the artwork, between the colouring, and let's just say this book has the best. We don't say a lot of things about lettering and letters.
Yeah,
but this has the best lettering of any comic that I've read ever. It was absolutely phenomenal, and I'm probably going to butcher the name, but the person who done the lettering is Osmani Elheu.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Apologies if I butcher your name, but your lettering was absolutely sublime. But I know, Charlie, that you had picked this for the show, so maybe should you kick off and let us know what it was about?
This for me. So again, it's the wonder of you. I sound like Elvis Presley there, and I'm not going to break into a song. It is the wonder of the Oracle. He picked this. You picked this on your indie picks, and I was like, this is interesting. A Chicken Devil. I love chicken. Like, I would eat chicken 7 days a week. So me picking this comic, I was like, I'm going to read this, and it had me laughing, it had me gasping, and I was so excited reading this comic because there's essences of, and they even reference it, like Breaking Bad, Heisenberg, the chicken shop. It just goes from 0 to 100 in the space of a couple of pages, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And the fact is that for me, that first cover, the main cover, is great, but I love cover C, like, because that plays such a significant part in the comic as we get towards the end of it.
100%, and I'm definitely going to be picking. Do you remember Bunny Mask?
Yeah,
Bunny
that's
Mask.
That's the same thing with the cutout
exactly
and everything like that. Yeah, that comic was great though, wasn't it? You picked that, didn't you?
That was one of mine, and it got me thinking. Is this going to be a thing where all these characters are going to be in like their aftershock world, I guess?
Yeah.
So you've got all these cosplayers of chickens and bunny masks and all that good stuff.
That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be the aftershock. You can have that one for free.
But this comic for me was everything I was expecting and more. because when I thought I'd seen it all, you throw something else out, and it was wicked. And as you said, the lettering, it flowed really well. I didn't find it hard to read, and with the speech bubbles and the little directional arrows on the different pages and stuff, it's great. And I like the way that he was telling it in third person mode to start the comic, and then it kind of It was wicked. Like, again, this is another indie comic, and again, I've posted image. It's not image. It's Aftershock. It isn't.
It's been a long week. It's been a long week. It's only Tuesday.
It is Aftershock that did this. It's not image. Maybe I'm just working for image, and I'm subliminally pushing image for you all. Here we go, because everyone's noticing it. But yeah, this is a great comic. Absolutely great. Andy, what did you think, mate?
No, I'm absolutely with you. I thought it was great. It was everything that I wanted to be, everything I expected it to be. The main character, Mitchell Moss, I think was his name. You know, he's just that regular guy. I mean, it could have been any of us in the first few pages of this particular book. You know, you're basically getting up and the world is going around about you. Your kids are going mental and your wife's nagging you to do stuff. And you find out that he owns a chicken restaurant.
A chain of chicken restaurants.
A chain of very successful chicken restaurants. And effectively his business partner tries to steal drugs from a gang, basically, and they basically kick off. And what we see after that is, especially when they blow up the boat, for me stopped me in my tracks. I was like, what is going on there? This has got really, really serious for something that's called Chicken Devil, and a guy's
I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that
at all. But yeah, it was a really, really good first issue. And it was just, again, it was fun, but it had that serious side and that serious element to it. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what issue 2 has to go. And it would be great if they'd done another cover C, where it was just another different type of chicken mask, because I don't know if you noticed that they had the menu for the chicken restaurant in the double-page spread. And it was like the different heat of the chicken. So I reckon they should do a mask for each level of chicken. That would be superb.
Yeah, you just took the words right out of my mouth, because it's subtle things like that you kind of notice, again, if you'd read it over a second time. But the ending for me, where the guy slips, I was just like, wow, because he's obviously...
Oh, yeah.
It was just... It's such a great... And it's a comic that I wouldn't have initially picked up if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for this show, because... It's Aftershock. They're not really at the forefront of the comics and stuff like that, but they are now, because the stuff that they're putting out. What I really want to know is the person running the Twitter account, is he wearing a mask? I really hope he is. I really hope he is. He's sitting at a computer and he's just wearing his chicken mask, just typing away.
I would love to get the guys on who creating this book to have a chat with them, just to see what the thought process was. Because for me, when I was reading it and afterwards, I was sort of thinking, you can just imagine these guys having the time of their life. They've got a bargain bucket of chicken, a couple of beers, and they've literally come up with this book, and they're having the time of their life. If I can use the pun, this book was finger licking good. Good night, everybody.
You can use that, but I definitely think
chicken.
I think we should reach out to all three of them. We'll reach out to Brian. We'll reach out to Hayden, and we'll reach out to, what's his name?
Osmani,
and we'll reach out to them, and then we'll let our marketing director take care of that. But yeah, I mean, this is 100% a killer for me. 100%.
100% killer for me. And Osmani's going to Thought Bubble. So
it's like we planned
definitely pick up issue number 1. I'd love if they'd have done a blank variant for this book, and I don't know if they have, because I would have just got the letterer to do the Killer Comic Show in his style on the cover. I think that'd been class. That would
be great. Or it could have just been a blank cover with like greasy finger marks from the chicken.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Look. Mark Allred, a clucking good review. There we go.
Nice.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. But yeah, so it was a strong week for comics. I'm not going to lie. Last week was a strong week for comics. It weren't just, obviously, we don't just read these comics. We just pick 3 comics that we want to review on the show. But it was a strong week for comics. It really, really, really was.
Definitely. And there was so much that we haven't reviewed on the show that probably we've read. So again, if anybody's watching live or in the rewind, hashtag the Killer Comic Show and let us know what you're reading and if there's anything that you think that we should be reading and reviewing that came out this week for next week's show.
Yeah. And before we go on to the next slide, let's just take a look at this voting. So Sabrina is on 50%. We've got X-Men on 17% and Dark Ages, which was Tom's comic, and he's not even in on the show this week. He's at 33%. I think there's 3 things I need to improve on. I need to improve on the fact that I need to pick a decent cover. I need to pick another logo to use on the comic reviews, and there's probably going to be something else I have to change at the end of the show. So that's 2. Yeah, I've got quite a lot to improve on. Andy, you just keep doing what you're doing. You just keep picking the comics. See, you're crafty. You get in before anyone else. So you scan. You go.
Right. Okay. Did I? Wait a minute. Everybody that's watching, I actually picked another cover, and then I realised that the cover's actually been delayed and it's not out to next week.
We did.
So the other 2 guys had all that time to pick their cover.
Do you know, I'm wishing I would have gone with a Batman one now, because that looks quite good. But I went with the David Nakayama because it's a great cover, but it's not going to win. So anyway, normally at this point, after this, we would have the Killer Keys. But obviously, to tie in with what happened at the weekend and stuff like that, we have New York Comic Con variant releases. Now, again, this is the brainchild of Andy. It's just like, I might just give Andy the show to run, and I'll just sit here going, yep, okay.
It's a team effort. There's no I in team.
Yeah, look, just before we move on, Andy's using his kids' logins to vote. I think he is, I think he is. I really do think he is. No, he's winning that. We all knew he was going to win. It's a fantastic Jenny Frisson cover that he's picked again. So,
sorry, Ivan.
But yeah, this is it. The New York Comic Con, October 7th to 10th, 2021. And this was the variant releases of some of the covers. There was quite a few. Some of the covers that came out this week that have already been released, but then obviously they did the NYCC variant edition that if you went to the show, you was lucky enough to pick up. So Andy, want to talk us through it, mate?
Yeah, I think we can probably both have a chat about it. But I know normally we do the Killer Keys segment.
Yeah, look, he's kicking off now. What outrageous!
I knew he was going to be happy with it.
I'm off on holiday and my segment gets pulled. Well, if you're on holiday, hopefully it's not just your segment that's getting pulled, Tom. But who knows? Just saying what everyone was thinking.
So first up, we've got Death of Doctor Strange, issue number 1, and this is by DJ Ski, who is I must admit an artist that I haven't heard of before I'd seen this cover. But we've obviously read A Death of Doctor Strange. Was it my favourite book that we've ever read? But I must admit, I think this cover is fantastic. Again, another cover that you could probably see different things every time you look at it, but look at the reflection in the mirror behind Doctor Strange. How cool is that?
That's awesome.
And bearing in mind that these are only a selection of some of the covers that were released at New York Comic Con. There was lots and lots of them, and I thought we would just pick out the ones that I kind of liked and Charlie liked. So next up was a no-brainer for me. It was Jock's Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 1, and just an open invitation. If anybody can find this book, can you let me know? Because I couldn't find a website that was actually selling it, and I'd like to buy it for obvious reasons. So yeah, stunning. What do you think, Charlie?
It is amazing. Like it really is great. And obviously Jock, he's going to be on the show on Thursday. But again, this is just another string to his bow. He's absolutely smashed it. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm not a huge Superman fan.
No,
any Superman covers that Jock has done have been absolutely fantastic. I think he's maybe done at least 2 or 3 that I can think of. But yeah, the next one was Amazing Spider-Man issue number 73, and this was the Joe Jusko limited to 1,000 copies. I just thought this was another fantastic cover, and I think this one might have came in a foil variant as well. But like every one of these books on eBay, they're going for astronomical amount. So if you can pick it up cheap, then definitely don't hesitate.
This one looks good though. The House of Slaughter issue number 1. This looks amazing.
I don't think this was cheap either. I don't think this was cheap even at the booth. And it's going for a stupid amount of money on eBay at the minute. But again, it's superb. Absolutely superb.
It is. I mean, this is obviously New York Comic Con is massive. It's been going on for years, and if you're privileged enough to go to it, and you've got the opportunity to go to it, then it's great. But it does, like, we don't really do anything like this in the UK. Like, we don't have like MCM variant editions of comics that come out, which is sometimes it's annoying because if we're looking to get these, it's extortionate prices for shipping or like the various UK comic sellers that kind of get hold of them. It's kind of like you end up paying through the nose for a comic cover that if it was available, do you know what I mean? And again, it goes back to comics being so much bigger in the United States than they are in the UK.
Yeah, a lot of people go to New York Comic Con just to pick up the variants, and they're standing in the line at New York Comic Con listing their books on eBay. And I'll be honest, I don't blame them. I absolutely don't blame them. I've been to New York Comic Con and bought some books to sell to recoup some of the costs of traveling over and accommodation and stuff. So I get it, but it's when people who are actual fans who want to pick up these covers, that's when it becomes a bit of a challenge. But yeah.
So that was the first 4.
Canto 4 printing. So there was 3 different versions of this. I think it was 3 different versions. Yeah. So
there was. It was the Canto 1 4th printing Virgin, and then there was like the variant A as well.
The sketch, and then the one with Canto behind it. Yeah. And I think this was one of the most popular variants that there was at New York Comic Con. And again, it sold really, really quickly. So if you do find this on eBay for reasonably cheap, then definitely snap it up. It's a great book. Canto 1, the original first print, is a book that I don't have, and probably one that I will never have now, just because of
the price increasing.
Options. Yeah.
Miles Morales Spider-Man issue number 30.
Another homage.
It is another homage. See, I do like this, but it's another homage. Do you know what I mean? It's just another homage to go with the rest of the homages. I just like saying homage, so I'm going to move on from this one.
And speaking of homage, we've got another homage.
There we go.
Another Miles Morales Spider-Man number 30. This is the Raphael Grassetti, and this was limited to 1,000 copies.
See, I like this one.
Charlie, what about that suit? What's your thoughts on the new suit?
I don't really like the new suit. It literally just looks like a lycra tracksuit that he's got on.
It's like a confused Spider-Man and Daredevil.
It now that you said it again, that's something that I've seen and I can't unsee it now. It's like he doesn't know what he wants to be. He doesn't know if he wants to be Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Daredevil. I don't know. But again, it's a good cover. But are people just going to buy it because it's by Raphael Grassetti and it's a New York Comic Con exclusive?
Yeah, and it's limited to 1,000, so that's what people are going to buy it for.
And that's it. That is it. Yeah, look, almost going down Spider-Man War Road. Yeah, it very much is. Yeah, it is.
True.
It very much is. It's like a fancy North Face trackie. It is. Trackie. There we go. This was my favourite page to put together, This is Harley Quinn, the Eat, Bang, Kill Tour issue number 1. This is the Shannon Mayer. This is... words fail me. I love this cover.
Interestingly enough, Charlie, that's the same name as our Killer Comics Thought Bubble tour.
Is it? The Shannon Mayer?
No, the Eat, Bang, Kill tour.
Oh, right. I was like, what? The Eat, Bang, Kill tour. I was like, Shannon Mayer, is he saying it in Scottish and I'm not saying it properly?
Is this a Scottish thing?
But yeah, this is a great cover. This is awesome. And I really like, so obviously this comic is a take on the animated series. So season 2 finished, and this comic picks up from where season 2 finished. So yeah, we've got Harley Quinn, the Eat, Bang, Kill tour, issue number 1. Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn getting all devilishly.
Devilish.
Yeah, I've lost my words. I've lost my train of thought here. Harley Quinn, the Eat, Bang, Kill tour, issue number 1. Natalie Sanders magazine homage again. Again, it's another magazine cover that is... It's awesome. Let's be honest. The way that she does these are pretty spectacular.
I think these would present really well slabbed as well. You know, you can just imagine having every one of them up in the wall. I think they're superb.
And then we've got Harley Quinn, the Eat, Bang, Kill tour, issue number 1, the Zoe Leche variant cover. I quite like this because it's literally just a totally different take on everything. And then they've got like the matching tattoos and stuff. I thought this was quite well done. Like that. And then obviously...
It's that cheeky look on her face as well.
It is just a little tongue in cheek, out of cheek. Yeah. And then obviously Batman 89, issue number 1 with the Warren Lowe variant cover as well. I think we covered this comic cover on the show, and I think it was... I think we mentioned that it was too perfect. It was too realistic.
Yeah, that's exactly the words that were used. Is can a cover be too perfect? And I think for this one, it's like I don't know the difference between a really good piece of artwork and a photograph. And I'd like to distinguish between the two whenever I'm buying comics. It's not to say that it's not absolutely beautiful; it's stunning, but yeah. I don't know.
See, I was in two minds whether to get this or not. Like I was, because he did the Wonder Woman cover as well, and I remember we were speaking about it, and I was like, right, do I get this or do I get the Wonder Woman? For me, I prefer it with the Batman 89 writing on it, because sometimes I want a comic book to look like a comic book, because if I'm going to invest in it and I probably want to send it to CGC and stuff, I'd want it to look like a comic book that's been CGC'd instead of a really nice realistic photograph that in comic book form has been CGC'd for like 50 quid or whatever.
Yeah, no, it's people are going to buy it at the end of the day, and just because it's a limited book as well. I mean, if someone offered it to me, then I'd probably pick it up. But
of course,
it's been so difficult to try and pick up these New York Comic Con books. So if anybody does know where to source them, and don't say New York, then let me know.
But that one, that as Liam just said, that one does look like a print. It looks like a card that you get with the McFarlane toys. You know, the McFarlane DC animated
That's exactly
toys.
what it does.
It looks exactly like that. What else have we got? There we go.
Ice Cream Man issue number 25. This is a black and white sketch variant, which Ice Cream Man I'm a huge fan of. I think it's fantastic, and I think there was a real limited print run on this. I'm going to say maybe 250 at the very most. And then this one I didn't quite get was Nottingham issue number 1, the gangster variant. So my understanding was that Nottingham was a play on Robin Hood, you know, running through the forest and all that good stuff. So I didn't quite understand how gangsters linked in with it all.
Yeah. No, I was kind of the same when I see this. I was like, the story is, for me, if they was to release Robin Hood and Maid Marian, there was the TV show on BBC years ago when we was kids. If they was to release it on something like Netflix as 15 plus, I would want Nottingham. I would want it to be like Nottingham, because you've got Little John and everything like that. But I really have no idea where this gangster concepts come from. Now, normally with variant covers, you can kind of tie it back to a moment in the comic or a take on the comic edition. This, for me, I have no idea. Is it a Bugsy Malone type of thing? I haven't got a clue.
Yeah. Again, it's like, what's the point? I don't understand what the point is.
And again, it's because it's New York Comic Con. People are going to go mad for it.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
I think is this the last one?
Yes, this is.
Have we left the best till last?
Yeah.
Steak issue number 1, the foil embossed variant. You know that we're huge fans of Steak, and this book is superb. The detail, I don't think the picture actually does it justice, but the fact that this is foil embossed as well, you can only imagine what this looks like in person. And again, I think this was a really low print run as well. So if you were lucky enough to pick this one up, then Fair play.
Yeah, and was this done by Francesca, or was this kind of looks like it's got like a Derek Chew type of vibe to it.
I'm not 100% sure who done this cover.
I know he did do one cover. I think it was for issue 2. He did. Derek Chew did an issue for it, but I was kind of trying to find it on the Scout website and I couldn't. I might just either reach out to Francesca or David and just see who did it, because it's a great cover and you can just imagine how sensational it's going to look with the foil embossed and stuff.
Oh yeah, without doubt, yeah.
It will look. Poptimus seems to think it's Qua.
It could be right.
It might be. You know, it might be.
I'm frantically having a look to see if I can find it.
If you can find it, that'd be great. You able to find it?
It was Alan Quinn.
There we go. Right. So you've just literally, because you got that right, you have won
a trip to Thought Bubble.
A trip to Thought Bubble, and all you've got to do is pay for your own ticket. What a great prize that is. You get the chance to come with us to Thought Bubble and you pay for your own ticket. It just gets better and better on a Tuesday night, doesn't it?
This was only limited to 300 copies for this book, wow, so I would say
that's going to go
that we need to drop a message to Alan to see if we can hook us up.
I think we do. That was pretty intense, to be fair. Like all them covers we had, and it's still time for the best intro on the Tuesday night show, on any show, to be fair. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased, but
this is Andy's fault from Perpetual Comics. Pep.
I love Triple G.
Love it.
I might remix it.
Did we check it was okay that we played that we're doing that and we actually used that video, because he hasn't been on since?
Yeah, I said to him, we was going to do it, and he was like, "Yeah, he loved it." So, but yeah, it's such a great intro.
It's superb.
So, what have you got for us for next week, Andy?
Yeah, so again, huge amount of indie books that are coming out next week, and I think I went with 4, maybe 5. So first up, and I consider Image. So this was a good excuse for Charlie to actually use the Image logo.
It's a different logo.
I consider Image to be indie. I know a lot of people don't, but this is Gunslinger Spawn issue number 1, created and written. And the variant cover is done by Todd McFarlane, and this has effectively like a co-writer, as it were, Alice Cott, and the art is by Philip Tan. So I think this is the second of the monthly books that are coming out for Spawn as part of the Spawn universe. You've obviously got King Spawn, and then you've got Gunslinger Spawn along with the original series as well. Everything McFarlane, everything to do with Spawn, I will pick it up. It doesn't matter what it is, but I think this cover is absolutely superb. And I'll be really interested. Gunslinger was actually one of my favourite characters in the original run.
Same, yeah.
And I think it'll be really interesting what they do if they do that sort of old school sort of, but back in the, I think Gunslinger's like 200 years old, if I remember, in the story. So I think what they're basically doing is bringing that character into 2021, and it's going to show you how he navigates through that sort of world. So I think it'll be really interesting. There's lots and lots of covers for this, and I think it'll be fairly easy to pick it up. So that's my first book.
I mean, I've never really been a massive Spawn fan, but I do like Gunslinger, and what I have read of Spawn, I kind of always gravitate to reading his like stories and his appearances and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. There we go. Look at this.
We've said it once, we'll say it twice, we'll say it again and again and again. If you're not picking up Made in Korea, then I would strongly urge you to do so. Made in Korea issue number 5 by the fantastic Jeremy Holt and art by George Schall is out next week. And it will be, I'm sure, one of our picks of review of the week. And hopefully, if Jeremy's watching, he's watching the rewind. If he's in the chat, if he wants to jump on and say hello, we'd be more than happy to have him on. It's getting close, guys. We're getting near the end, and I'm really interested to see what happens with this book, because I think it's going to set us up for a really good ending. And I'm hoping we get another arc of this book, because I think it's been absolutely fantastic. It's definitely in my top books of this year, to be honest. What about yourself, Charlie?
100%. I mean, this has been, for me, I think we was very much privileged. Bloody word, I can't say it. We was very much privileged to have Jeremy on the show, not once but twice. And the fact of the matter is that this comic, ABZ, it comes out next week, and we're already at number 5. Now, this was an emotional. It's an amazing, intricate story, and massive kudos to Jeremy, because he's been trying 11 years to break in and get his story published, and he's finally done it. And I tell you what an entrance he's made, because this, for me, it's an incredible story. And issue 4 was great. So looking forward to what issue 5 is going to be. Obviously it's going to be at the high standards that we expect, but I just can't see. I don't want it to end. I really don't want it to end.
I think there was a little bit of a delay, wasn't there, for this issue as well? So it feels like it's been a long time since we've read something to do with Maiden Career. So yeah.
Could you break it down for Jason?
I'll try my best. I probably wouldn't do it justice, but this is effectively the story of you see the two characters on the screen at the minute. So the guy builds robots for a living, and it's artificial intelligence. But these are so lifelike, these particular robots. And the one that he actually created was the character that he has on his shoulders at the minute. And it's literally all about this child moving to a family who can't have children, and they basically attempt to raise this child. But what they don't appreciate is that with artificial intelligence, the way that this child was programmed, as it were, it learns very, very quickly, and it becomes more of a human than I think they expect it to be. But basically, the child decides she wants to make friends. And the only way that she make friends is by meeting these two guys who aren't the greatest of representation of human beings, and they try to go into a school and kill lots and lots of people, and she effectively ends up saving them. And it's now getting to the stage where he's realised that he wants the child back that he programmed, because he feels like he is the real father of this child. I probably haven't done it justice, so apologies, Jeremy, and apologies, Jason, but it is a fantastic read, Charlie. I don't know if you've got anything to add to that.
No, it's great, and it kind of, for me, kind of sums up that this guy's obviously working for this big corporate company. He's created this thing that he kind of wanted to create for himself, and it got taken out of his hands. She's gone to a family, and they're trying to give her the life that they want, and it kind of all goes tits up. She kind of starts realizing that she's not what she's all cut out to be, and then it's basically like a love story where he's trying to get his daughter back that he didn't want to give away in the first place. But there's so much more than you expect in this story. Like, honestly, if you read this story and don't feel every emotion, then there's something wrong with you, because this is an incredible story, and I can't shout about it enough. And it is number 5 is out next week.
And in fairness, like we spoke about it a lot. We've probably bored a lot of people a lot, but what people have done who've been watching is they've picked up issue 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the likes of Mark and ABZ Comics, and they've loved it as well. So definitely try it out, Jason.
Yeah, no, Jason, definitely give it a good and even ABZ, it doesn't disappoint for sure. Loving it. There we go. Interesting.
Yeah, Night of the Ghoul. So I don't know if you remember last week we done Clear issue number 1. So this is another Scott Snyder Comixology digital only release that he has out, and the artwork is by Francesco Francavilla. So again, I'm going to be trying to pick up all of these on my Comixology account. But the synopsis for this one is a dazzling work of horror intercutting between the present-day narrative and a story of a lost horror film. The writer and artist behind Batman the Black Mirror reunite to shed light on a celluloid artifact once thought forever missing, perhaps with good reason. So it got me intrigued, and I know that Francesco Francavilla's artwork is superb. So this is Night of the Ghoul. Definitely pick it up.
There we go. Rob Matthews, thanks for joining, Rob. I think I'll pick up Made in Korea. If you do anything, if you take anything away from this show, pick up Made in Korea, pick up Chicken Devil, and pick up A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, because they are 3 comics that you definitely need to read, and they might have gone under the radar a bit, but definitely pick them up.
And also, if you are going to pick up these books, especially the likes of Made in Korea, pop over to Jeremy Hope's Instagram and on his Twitter, and let them know that you heard about the book from our good selves, and hashtag the Killer Comic Show. That would be appreciated. Yeah,
it would be. It's very much appreciated if you guys are reading any comics and you kind of hashtag the Killer Comic Show. It's always appreciated. So thanks for the support. But yeah, this one definitely. And he's in Jason Parker. Love myself some horror. That looks good. It does look very good, to be fair. Up next, Time Before Time.
Time Before Time, issue number 6. I
knew we had one Declan Shalvey cover.
Indeed, it's the Declan Shalvey Appreciation Society here, but no, with absolutely good cause and merit. This has been great. I've enjoyed every single issue of it. Issue number 6 is obviously written by Rory, but Declan also writes for this particular issue, and he does the cover art and he does the artwork as well. So this will be available next week. Now, this isn't Black Caravan. This is where you should have used Image, I think, or when I should have used Image.
There we go. It weren't me. It weren't me for once. So it's not just me that messes up. See, this is what I like about the show. If one of us mess up, we all mess up. We're a unity. Yeah,
we're equally bad. Do you know what it is? It's because there's so many slides on this show,
and it's just expanding.
Yeah, it really is. So yeah, Time Before Time, issue number 6. Go check it out. This is the final issue of the arc, I believe.
Yeah, and it has been good. It has been great. It really has. Rob, not a problem, mate. Like, thank you for joining, no matter how short it is. But yeah, definitely catch up on the rewind. Make sure you put your vote in for the cover of the week, by the way. At the moment, I think Sabrina's winning with 47%. X-Men is non-existent at 20%, and Dark Ages is somewhere around about 33%. So yeah, it looks like Andy's won again. But swiftly moving on to the last comment that you picked, Andy.
He's not a happy chappy. This is Gun Honey issue number 2. So myself and Sean reviewed this last week. See, somebody just voted for Dark Ages there when you said that. I don't like this game anymore. Come on, Sabrina. People are just going to not vote for Sabrina.
That's it.
Sorry, Gun Honey, issue number 2. So this is from Titan Comics, and this is written by Charles Ardai, and the artwork is by Ang Hor King. Hope I pronounced that correctly. And I really, really enjoyed issue number 1. I thought it was a really thought-provoking story. You could definitely tell that Charles is normally a novel writer, and sometimes that doesn't sort of transcend to comics that well. But I thought the storytelling on this was absolutely spot on, and the ending to issue 1 really set the second issue up nicely. And who could resist these covers? I picked up the Bill Sienkiewicz cover for issue number 1, and this is just another fantastic Virgin cover as well.
Well, I went for the original cover for my thumbnail last week, and YouTube just literally took it down. They was like, no, 1, you can't show nudity, and 2, you're not showing knives or guns on your thumbnail. So I was like, well, what am I meant to do?
Blocked.
The comic's called Gun Honey. What do you want me to do? So, but I'm looking forward to reading this. I know Sean weren't too keen on it, but it's a good comic.
In fairness to Sean, he had to read 3 comics in 30 minutes, so he had a lot to take in on Thursday last week. But no, I really, really enjoyed it. I know that it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and there were things that I didn't like about it, but I'm definitely willing to give the second issue a go. And in fairness to the second issue, it's really going to have to be good and develop the character even further, and dare I say it, a little bit more action to keep me interested. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it will.
And that might be Dani on the front cover. Who knows? She's got a cat round her neck. You don't know, do you? Eh?
Could be.
Who knows? Dropping bombs. There we go. But yeah, that is the Killer Indie Picks for week 42, which is next week. October 20th. So make sure you check out these covers. If you like anything, get them, because before you know it, they'll go on eBay and these flippers are always selling them for stupid, crazy prices. So I would advise that if you see a cover that you like, get it when you see it straight away. Don't hesitate. Just buy the cover that you like, because before you know, you would have lost out and it's going for silly money on eBay. So yeah. And up next,
pre-order all your books. That's what I say.
Pre-order. Head over to notquitemen.com and pre-order the comics that you want. He's always putting stuff out. Make sure you check your Instagram, your emails, your mailing lists. And he does cheeky giveaways now and again, so definitely make sure you're in it to win it. There we go. The art in issue 1 was sumptuous and a gripping story. Gun Honey going to be big. I couldn't agree more, to be fair. I really, really couldn't agree more. And he's put together another bunch of amazing slides, but this week we're kind of doing it a bit different. So it would be, the sneak peek would be for next week's show, but we've got 2 shows this week, so it's not going to be the next show. It's going to be next week's show, if that makes sense, because normally we'll be doing this on a Thursday. Anyway, this is the Killer Comics sneak peek for next week's show on a Thursday, and it is going to be, Andy, you've gone with May's book issue number 2.
Yeah, May's book issue number 2. We reviewed issue number 1 by Jeff Lemire. It was absolutely fantastic, and I think this, if issue 1's anything to go by, then this could be in my top picks for this year. But really looking forward to reading issue number 2.
This hit me in the feels. This one, I've got to say, this really hit me in the feels. I'm so looking forward to this. Jeff Lemire does sensational writing and everything, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. I've gone with Batman the Imposter, because I'm really looking forward to this. I'm a big Batman fan, and this hopefully, as we mentioned at the start of the show, this is going to be something different. Like, we've had so many takes on Batman. Hopefully this is going to be something different. So that's my pick. And Tom's pick was Transformers, Wreckers, Treading Circuits. I really hope this isn't as bad as the last Transformers comic he picked.
I don't think I'm available for that show. I think I'll wash my hair that week.
But honestly, I'll tell you what, if it is that bad, Tom's on another holiday next week.
God bless him. Was it Grimlock? Grimlock, wasn't it? Issue number. Yeah, that was.
It was Grimlock. It was absolutely shocking.
It was grim.
We are coming to the end of the show. Obviously, it's Tuesday, so don't everyone go to bed and wake up and thinking it's going to be Friday. But we do have a special show for you on Thursday, and I'm just going to let you guys know what it is. Oh my God. I've literally just put in the chat, holy moly, we have Jock on the show in 2 bloody days. Now, we knew about this 2 months ago, and it's come around so quick, so fast, and it's Jock on the show. I'm so excited for this in 2 days' time, in 2 bloody days' time.
Yeah, no, it's going to be great. Obviously, I'm super excited. I'm super excited for everybody that's going to be watching, and everybody's going to watch it in replay as well. And all I would ask is just think of some questions that you would like to ask them as well, because we're obviously racking our brains and we want to make it as interesting as possible. But really, this is going to be as interactive as you guys want it to be. So if there's any questions that you want to put to Jock, then please let us know. Feel free to put them in the chat. But make sure that you are in nice and early. Show some support. 9 o'clock this Thursday, please.
This is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be, because again, we're going to be interviewing him, and like we did with Ram, we're going to be talking to him, and then when we get to Thought Bubble, we're going to have the privileges of buying him a drink and spending time with him. So it's going to be great, because Jock's doing some amazing stuff. He's done some amazing stuff in the past. I mean, like, he's on the bloody Killer Comic Show. I can't. I'm really looking forward to this. But before we do go, Andy, I just want to let you know that the poll has now ended. The poll has ended, and Dark Ages, Sabrina, and X-Men, all the votes are in. In third place, we have X-Men. That's fine. In second place, X-Men was 17%. In second place, with 39%, we have Sabrina. And in first place is Dark Ages number 2 with the Alan Quay variant. So Tom has picked you at the post in the final few minutes of the show.
The viewers have spoken. I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed, guys.
But yeah, I mean, have you before we close the door on this Tuesday night extravaganza? Have you got anything else you want to share?
Well, yeah, not just to say thank you to the chat. It's been fantastic. Thanks to everybody that's going to watch the show on the rewind. And so Sunday was World Mental Health Day. And it was just, I put a post up on my Instagram, and it was just a shout out to everybody who is dealing with their own mental health, and just to let everybody know that from a Killer Comics show that our DMs are always open. If anybody wants to chat, have the crack, or isn't feeling themselves, we're always open to have a chat. And I think it's really important for men and women to talk about things and keep chatting and keep talking. And I know for us, this show is very much a little bit of our therapy on a normally on a Thursday. So it was just to say that to everybody, that it's good to talk, and you're never alone. So
no, 100%. I mean, I've had a terrible couple of months. I think it's safe to say that, and people that I've spoken to have been absolutely great, whether you're on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and stuff like that. And I don't think there's any shame in saying it. I speak to a therapist every Wednesday for an hour, and it's just good to talk about random stuff, just release. And honestly, it's not a faux pas or anything. It's good to talk. So no matter if you're talking to your neighbour, your postman, the kebab man, your taxi driver, where you get your local papers and stuff like that, just talk, because the more you bottle it up, it's just going to create a problem. So we're here, Tom's here, people in the chat, just talk. That's all we can say. The best thing to do is talk. It helps, and you don't realise how much it helps until you do it. So yeah, our DMs are always open, no matter what time or day. Just drop us a message and we'll get back to you, or we'll call you then and then. But yeah, just talk, guys. It's great to talk. Nothing to be ashamed of. So yeah.
On that note.
on that note, guys, it's been fantastic. Thanks to everyone in the chat. It's been absolutely great, and we look forward to seeing you again on Thursday for the one and only. Check him out on IG at perpetual.comics, or you could also check out IG perpetual.chioma. She's a great girl as well. Awesome stuff. Check me over at Geek Guy Comics, Twitter, Instagram. Both of us over there, we're killing it. NotQuiteMint.com. Check out, get your pre-orders in for the comics and stuff. And it's going to be wicked. We're looking forward. It will be myself, Andy, Tom, and we'll have some... He's a pretty unknown artist. He goes by the name of Jock. He'll be joining us on Thursday at the normal time of 9 p.m. BST. Looking forward to seeing you all there, guys. Thanks for an amazing show, being great in the chat, and we shall see you on Thursday. See you later.